Would you grab my computer mouse, please? Oh, somebody's in there. My computer mouse and mouse pad.
Where is it?
On my desk. Oh, actually, no. In the contain in the Just bring the. Hey, everyone, give me a sec. Oh, there's no one on yet. Just bring the case, the computer case.
You're on.
Okay, but no one's here yet. There we go. There's some people loading in. There are some people loading in. All right. You guys. What, my computer case? Oh, I'm sitting here looking at it, Troy. Sorry. Hey everybody. You're loading in. Cool. I have to do old people stuff, so give me a moment here. This might look like I'm having an earthquake here. Wow. Oh, look at that. Oh, everyone's loading in. Look at that. Wow. You guys are loading in fast. So you got Windsor, Ontario. Gosh, Adriana, you're probably too young to remember a place called the Happy Tap. We were just talking about that the other day. Some friends and I. Todd, hey Todd, you're here. Purple Moon Drop. Hey Shannon Lee, Rebecca, Jenny Cassidy. Hey Cecil, Holly, Matthew, Dorothy. Hey Don Worth, how are you, my dear? I was just looking at that episode of what did we do? That Netflix show, Dark Tourist. That was fun. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you. Pele, Elizabeth, David, Nana Terry, Ruth Shelton, Buster. I know a lot of these names. Hey Karen, AJ, Maggie. Well, thanks you guys for joining with me tonight. I just figured out, hey, Karen Beer, the woman responsible for this live feed tonight. I was talking to Karen yesterday and she said, you should go live. And I said, well, I always feel like kind of an idiot going, tune in. But because I don't have really anything to say, but the slow mode is on. Okay. I hope the slow mode is on for me, Ruth. So it's on for you. So that's probably tedious for you guys, but that's what I got to do because it's easier for me. Because then things don't go too far behind or too far back. So Ricardo is here. Hello there. Yeah, Dawn. It's been so long. Dawn, Ginny and Phil from New York are coming in this week. And I haven't seen them in a long time. They're old Hollywood death hags from the old Hollywood Underground group, how so many of us met. There was a woman by the name of Karen McHale who many, many, many years ago, well, back in the early 2000s, so, decades ago almost, she started the group called the Hollywood Underground. She collected all sorts of people, brought them all together, and we all met and we became all good friends, and we're still friends. The ones that are left alive are still friends today, and so it's nice to see some friendly faces in here. Find Shelley Duvall. I don't know anything about her. Shao, hello. F. Scott Fitzhemingway. What a great name. Oklahoma. Hey, Jeff. Okay. I love Oklahoma. I think it's a great place. Yeah, Chad, I think you're referring to the fires and, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm going back to LA to do a private tour in a couple of weeks, just an quick overnight visit. And I'm interested to see what's going on over there. I'm not, just very interested. I know that where I usually go, the fires didn't really affect it too much, but it's all been affected. So it's going to be interesting to see. Macomb County. Hey, Angel. We used email in 2000. We all used email back then. You heard me, Ruth. Carmel, Monterey, Indigo. Oh, hey. Joshy boy, hello. Hello, Nancy, Mexico City. Neil, hey, Neil Robertson, my buddy. Marilyn Smith, Kelly. So I was sort of, I was like, what am I going to do? What am I gonna what was I gonna say? So, oh, one thing I was going to say actually is that you guys, a lot of you donated money to for the pet cemetery in Desert Hot Springs. Thank you, Christopher 628. I appreciate the tip out. Thank you very much. The super chat. I appreciate that. And I have to go check out Dean Martin's house. So thank you very much. You're very kind to donate to the cause. So yeah, the pet cemetery in Desert Hot Springs. You saw the video I think I did on Christmas Day, where I had met with Charles, the owner, and really really nice guy, and was never asked or implied anything. But I thought, well, just a nice guy, and he wanted to do some work there, and he's on his own. He has a very skeleton crew, probably two people that help him. And so I offered to buy him grass seed and fertilizer. And grass seed was delivered this week, and half of the fertilizer was delivered. We're going to get the other half very soon, and hopefully set up something and go out there and help him tend to the cemetery. So we're very excited about that. Everyone was very kind. We reached our goal and some. So the stuff that came in over that will go to a Home Depot gift card for Charles to use. So I'm very, very happy. So thank you guys for participating in that fundraiser. I really appreciate that. Rebecca from Illinois. Nice to see you. Hey, Lance, you know what? Something just came from you today. I have it over by my table of fun. So thank you in advance. I like your AMP, uh, your A&P sticker on the top of it. My mailbox people commented on that again today. Would you consider an updated interview with Patty Lauerman, Dorothy Stratton's roommate? A lot of her comments from your dearly departed tour were edited. Were they? Interesting. I don't remember. You must be talking about that movie or that show we did for E called Hollywood Death Trip. I just recall, uh, and that's a word that really exists. I don't remember her interview in that. Do you know it was a really terrible day, that day that we interviewed Patty Lauerman at Dorothy Stratton's house, because she was the person who found Dorothy Stratton and Paul Snyder's bodies. And it was just the weirdest day because I don't know. I was in the middle of this production for E, and there were like 20 people there, and I don't know. I just kind of lost it when she started talking. I got really really emotional and had to leave like the scene, and everyone in the crew was going, "Scott, you're tripping." But it was a very uncomfortable situation for me. But she was so nice, Patty Lauerman, and I'd love to talk to her again. I was hoping to get to talk to soon. Was Lana Wood, Natalie Wood's sister. I'd love to meet her. And I started poking around her social media, hoping to maybe meet her. So, and interview her next time I'm in LA. Hopefully, we'll see. Hey, E. Reynolds full. Thanks. Well, thanks for finding us. Matthew Decker. Loved it. Oh, you know what? Wasn't Bridget's show great? Bridget Marquardt, who is my friend from Playboy Bunny from the Girls Next Door, and her and Holly and Kendra, I did their show. And then Kendra and I'm sorry, Bridget and I become friends. And she asked me on her new podcast this week. Her new podcast is called Ghost Bunny. And it was fun talking to her. It's always fun talking to her. And I got to talk to her a bit about the stuff I'm doing. Like I used some of her interview that I did with her on Mini Me, Vern Troyer's video. And I interviewed her a bit about a woman who worked for Playboy who's got a really great story. So I'm looking forward to talking more about. But we talked about doing an investigation together. So we'll see. South Carolina. Hey, Greg. Wonder if I could own any items from the Manson crimes. What would it be? Well, it would be. It'd be very much the door from Cielo Drive. That's what I would love to own. But yeah. Cedar Rapids. You know what? I was just there not that long ago, twice actually this year. And on the way out of Cedar Rapids, we stopped at the Pickers guy, the American Pickers place, and which is a great thrift store. I forget the guy's name from American Pickers, but he was there, and we talked for quite a while. My sister and I did with him. He was really, really. That was a fun guy to hang out with for an hour. He kept showing me all the. I said, "Do you have any weird stuff?" He's like, "Oh man, you got to see this." We're running over to one side, and he's, "Oh man, I got this thing over here." That was really cool. Telling me good stories about that area too. Definitely, I love that store. That I forget what it's called, but the American Pickers guy. Ghost guy Brandon. Okay, that was you. Sorry, that's all you. Well, thank you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for coming in and joining in. Melbourne. My gosh, it's like 18 hours something frontwards or backwards to there to here. So welcome. Thank you for staying up or getting up. I never know which one it is. Let's see. I go to the garage where Thelma Todd was found burned. No, you know what? I found out that the Thelma Todd garage did not burn, so I'm happy about that. That's what I've heard. Silence of the Lambs. No, Ricardo. I don't really know anything about that movie. I know that um, the what do you call it? The row of shelves is in Hollywood at the Hollywood History Museum. Universal Studios had it in storage, and they said if you want it, you got to come go get it. So they did. So they have the entire row of shelves from the first Silence of the Lamb there. But no, otherwise I don't know anything about that. I don't not big on the horror movies. Saw that Demi Moore recently, that crazy plastic surgery one or whatever, that Substance, and and that's somebody I was might go see that Wolfman movie, but I'm not big on those. Not big on the scary movies anymore. What would you expect the next? When could we expect the next two Death Roulette? My mom and I kind of play something similar now because can you hear me, Troy? No, he can't hear me. I think he's got one ready, so maybe this weekend. I think maybe this weekend. Shields. Have I seen the movie at Shields Date Gardens Romance and the Sex Life of the Day? No, I don't know that. I don't know that. Oh, okay. It's a book, Lance. Okay. All right. Jordan. Hey, Jordan. Nice to see you. Slumming. Slumming today. Madeline Moore, thank you very much. I appreciate you for supporting the channel. Thank you very much. Well, I'm way behind. See, Jordan doesn't need glasses. Jordan can whiz through all this stuff, and he's like, no, 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 no. And I'm sitting here like a 62-year-old, which is what I am. And lots of your fans are here to come to hijack my conversation, Jordan. Ingrid hugs. Oh, well, you've seen Karen Black has a daughter and a son. I have never seen them interviewed. That'd be interesting. Troy is a huge fan of Karen Black. We saw her at the airport one time, and Troy actually doesn't do that. He doesn't really care about famous people. I mean, it's fun, but he would never ever go out of his way to meet somebody. But he did. He did go up to Karen Black, and I wish I would have taken a picture of that. Hey, Jane Osborne. Hey, Jane. I'll be seeing you soon too. I'm excited about that. Dawn Worth is in the house. And we're just talking about the Hollywood Underground just a couple of minutes ago. And Karen McHale, God bless her. I saw Judy Garland's home on McCadden Place on a trip last year. Have you seen any of her other homes? Oh yeah, I saw the one she lived in with when she did The Wizard of Oz and that hotel in the middle of Hollywood. I forget what it's called now, where her and her mother took her to stay, and that one on McCadden next to the Baby Jane house. Lamb Chop's sister seems interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's very interesting. And she talked about her mother's ashes, which is funny. I guess she's the woman who is Lamb Chop, who is Sherry Lewis's daughter, um, took her mother's ashes out and said, "I don't know what to do with them. And they've been in a closet for 30 years or 25 years." I'm like, "Well, I'll take them." Daphne, thank you for supporting. I appreciate that. Good to see you on the live stream. Thank you very much for the tip. I appreciate that. Matthew Decker, well aware of the lore, watching the Vern. Okay. Sharon Tate at 1038 Palisades Beach still standing. That I don't know. I have not heard otherwise. And I think for some reason Peter Lawford's house might still be there too. Yeah, Groovy Nikki, you were saying about Lana Wood at the Crime Con. She's fascinating, Lana Wood. She's like lost any sort of any kind of she just doesn't care. And I like that video where she just approached Robert Wagner and just telling him, tell the truth. Just tell him. I thought that was an interesting video. I read about Meryl Streep barely escaping the fire. I haven't heard that one. I saw Harrison Ford being escorted out in a police truck in a police car. It was like taxi. There's money talking right there. Hey, flipping Mama Kelly, Mike Wolf. Yeah, the door, the Cielo Drive door, it belongs to a collector. I don't know who it is, but Trent, you're right, Don. Trent Reznor did have it. No, he didn't lose it in Katrina. Somebody bought the building, and he sold the building and left it there. And whoever bought the building took it, the door from Cielo Drive. Trent Reznor lived on Cielo Drive. When the house was sold, it was going to be demolished. He took the door with him and took it to New Orleans, where it was the front door of his studio, until he sold it. And whoever bought it got the door because Trent Reznor didn't want it anymore, and they took it off and they put it in storage. And then artist eventually bought it and had it for many years, and then the artist put it up for auction. So I don't know who bought it, but I understand that he's really a nice person, which makes me happy that it didn't go to people that I don't know. I just would rather a nice person have it than anybody else. So that made me happy. Hey, 6 degrees, Thomas Gonzalez. Thank you very much for. You're not Tomas, I don't think. 6 degrees. Thank you. Went to my first grave tour in LA last week. Hit Pierce Brothers Hollywood Forever. Forest Lawn Hollywood is a big cemetery. I hope you. Have a tour guide or something like that. Thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you so much. And Jesse, thank you very much for the super chat as well. Forest Lawn Hollywood Hills is a great cemetery. It's huge. It's really hard to get around unless you know exactly where you're going. And I know where I'm going in there, and I still have a problem getting around in there. Did I ever meet any Detroit area gangsters? I met, some names I know were in the Purple Gang in Detroit that I knew from grade school. I knew those names, so I know they're affiliated. But as far as them being, actual mobsters, I don't know. I met one of the older family members, but he had a hair salon not far from me, so it would have been his parents, I guess, if they were indeed the mob people from the Purple Gang. Finally watching live from Perth. Marcia from Perth. Hello. Redneck from Massachusetts. Kind of funny you don't like scary movies, but you are. You know what? I used to like scary movies. I don't like being I don't mind scary. I don't like jump scary, that's not fun for me anymore. I don't, it's like I would never go to one of those haunted houses anymore. I used to love that kind of stuff when I was a kid. I always say my haunted house stuff is like Don Knotts, is like Disney Haunted Mansion. That's my type of, Halloween experience. I don't need the absolute bejesus scared out of me. And they have those ones where people like tie you up, and you can like, you sign a contract saying they could do whatever they want, and they like kidnap you and put you in a trunk, and they it's like I watched some of those videos, and it's absolutely horrifying, and I don't know why someone would sign up for something like that. But hey, that just wouldn't be me. What's my second favorite crime or event that you love to talk about? Probably, and it's a British thing. It's the Cray twins is probably my favorite, because I lived in the East End of London for a few years, about 5 years, 6 years, something like that. And so I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed learning about the Cray twins. The I don't like the story. I don't like them, but I know a lot about it. So as far as talking about it goes, but yeah, Manson's just easier for me because I've been studying that pretty consistently, and I can't speak with authority really on a lot of the others. Maybe the Menendez case, but otherwise I'm just, Black Dahlia. I couldn't tell you a thing about it that, any of you guys would correct me in 5 seconds, which I don't blame you. That's just not my wheelhouse. Seattle, hello there. Thank you, Lisa. Very nice of you. When's my next TV appearance? I don't have one. I don't think. No. Oh, that awful one I did not that long ago. What was that? Oh God. Cursed? No. Oh, I don't know. Some kind of celebrity ghost thing. It was just awful. Awful, awful. I'm out of the loop. But the La Bianca house still standing? Yes, it is. Hey, Matt. Thank you very much, Matt, for the donation. Thank you very much. Any plans for updating Find It? I'd love to. I would love to. I need more time, and I need my brain to stop moving, and so I can concentrate on something for a minute. Trilogy of Terror is good. Troy likes that. Are you friends with the people that own the Tiki House in Palm Springs? I don't know the Tiki House off the top of my head. There is a Hollywood Underground. The one in Seattle is cool. Have you done a show on Laurel and Hardy? No. I haven't, Colleen. Karen Blank. Okay. Stacy Hughes. Thank you very much, Stacy. Very much appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, see now, you guys are. Oh, I'm way behind now. Okay. Elvira. Have I ever met Elvira? No, no. But I went to her garage sale. Oh no, I have met her. That's right. I met her at later on when I told this story before, but I'll tell you again. When Elvira got divorced from her husband, she basically left the house, and everything was left in the house. You know, everything. Like even I always say, it's even the kids' toothbrushes were in there, and her clothes were in the closets, and it was the weirdest thing. So I found out later that they had a really ugly breakup, and she said screw it, and she left, and everything was sort of split right down the middle. So anyway, I wanted to buy something, and it was early on too. So all her like, this is really, it's gross, but all her underwear was in the drawers. I'm not even kidding. I mean, it was everything was there. And I was in the kids' room, and I found a picture on the wall, and it was a little boy hanging on the moon. And I posted a picture of it, and somebody told me that that was the Neverland logo, you know, that Michael Jackson had all the bottles of wine and stuff like that. It was a little boy hanging on the moon. So that was weird. I got it from Elvira's house, and it was the little boy on the moon from Neverland. And then I opened it up, and on the back of it was Patti Davis's acting resume of Nancy Reagan's daughter's acting resume. So I thought that was really weird. So Elvira was doing one of those appearances at one of those haunted shows, and we went and paid the money to get in. And Elvira was doing an appearance, but she wasn't doing it as Elvira, you know, which is like, come on, you're at a horror convention, show up as Elvira for God's sake. So that was a bit annoying, and you had to line up to get a picture with her out of her makeup, which is like, okay, she's pretty, but who cares? And but anyway, I did bring the picture with me, and then the guys who were there, like her handlers, practically tackled me when I pulled it out. And she goes, "Oh, I remember that. Pamela DeBar gave me that." So it was like Elvira, Pamela DeBar, Nancy Reagan, Patti Davis, Michael Jackson, and Elvira. So there's my story. Oh, Mike Wolf, that's who you're talking about. Was the Pickers guy? Okay. Thanks, Sharon, for the nice words. What's the name of that funeral home with all the burning bodies? That was the Lamb Funeral Home. I did that video on those people. They're really nice people. I hope they're doing well with those, what do you call those, escape room things at the mortuary. That's a crazy story. Manchester, hello, Mank from Manchester. Mancurian. Psychological scary is better. Did you see that Demi Moore movie? Oh my gosh, that was nuts. Ghost of Mr. Chicken, one of my favorites, and that is definitely the Halloween go-to for me. Thomas, thank you. Thomas, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm behind now, so thank you for being patient. Yeah, I've always wanted to do a haunted house like the Ghost of Mr. Chicken. Spokane, hello, Kathy. The Griffin Dunn memoir. I haven't read it. I read the chapter about Dominique Dunn, and that was pretty incredible. That was really pretty moving. That was really a good chapter. I don't think I'd want to read the rest of it. What am I reading now? I'm reading Little Richard's book, which is really trashy. It's good. And what's next on my list? String Bean, the death of String Bean, who was a country western Grand Ole Opry comedian who was murdered. Good story too. Greetments from Peterborough, Canada. Hello. Did I ever come over there? Sure. I used to go over to Windsor a lot. Back when we could go there, on a whim and just whiz through. They wouldn't even stop us at customs. We're going through the tunnel of Detroit to Canada, and you just pull up and they just go, yeah, go on, go on. It's like, now you can't do it anymore. But do you think Manson worked undercover for the FBI? No. Have you ever been in the room that Janis Joplin died in? Yeah, a few times. Yeah, in fact, on my Find a Death website, you'll see some of the pictures because we put some tape on the ground, like the body outline, and we read her autopsy. Am I planning to do a video on Esther Terblanche? She was bitten. I don't know who that is, Luis. I don't know. I don't know who that is. Esther Terblanche? I don't know who that is. Yeah, thank you about the Liberace protege. Yeah, Steve was a good interview. There's another Liberace interview that might be coming up soon, and I'm very, very excited about this too. Winchester House from the TV show My Ghost Story. That was a good one. I like that. Any new documentary binges? What did I watch? We watched, we get into these shows. We just finished watching that night, so bad, so bad. Night, it's the thing on Netflix, night, where the guy's on late at night answering the phone. Night phone, night caller. I think that's it. Night phone. Mobsters. My dad used to work at Don John Toko's car. Don didn't trust many people with his car. It's interesting. Hello, London. William V6. That's probably a Roman numeral that I don't know. I did watch Manson Speaks. I thought it was more interesting than I thought it was going to be. I'll say that. I think I said I would recommend it before, but I can't recall that much about what I would recommend. But I was expecting to be like, yeah, whatever. But no, I thought it was pretty good. And that there is a, pardon me, there is a Netflix is doing a documentary on that Chaos book that you're talking about, the FBI Manson working for the FBI. And I just saw yesterday that on March 7th they're going to be airing it. So it's the Chaos book, which is that whole MLK Ultra thing. So I don't know. I'll watch that. It should be interesting. The book had interesting points. I don't subscribe to a lot of them, but it was I gave it a go, and I thought it was very interesting points. Thank you, Californiography. Thank you. And thank you, Simon. Carrie is terrific. Carrie from Hollywood Forever is terrific. I'm glad. She has a great story, a tour in Hollywood. Cemetery Guide, I think is what it's called. And she's great. North Carolina. Someone honked and waved at my death egg sticker. How cool is that? I still have never seen one out in the wild. Never. I've given out probably 1,000 of those things. I've never seen one. Nebraska, Elvira, Jesus Juice. Yeah. Oof. That's one I can't even look at. I can't listen to Michael Jackson anymore. I just can't. It's just too much. But also it might be an excuse because it's also overplayed. Istanbul, my gosh. Hello, W.D. Harris. Istanbul. You have a friendly Midwest demeanor. Well, thank you. I am from the Midwest. I'm from Detroit. And I lived in Chicago for 9 years before I moved to LA. Did I ever meet Kenneth Anger? Yes, I've met him a couple of times. In fact, the first time I met Kenneth Anger, I was doing a tour of Hollywood Boulevard, a walking tour. And I was pointing out Yamashiro restaurant because Yamashiro has a pagoda in front of it. And the pagoda is it's the oldest standing man-made structure in California. I think in the country, I think, but it was brought in from Japan. And I was pointing that out to people from in front of the Roosevelt Hotel. And this guy steps up and says, I need to correct you about something. I thought, oh, well, here we go. But it was him and he was wrong. But he didn't stay around long enough for me to say, you're actually wrong. And then one time he came into my shop and he said, I know the people that want to kill you. You're such a douche. I don't. Kenneth Anger's an ass. It's really too bad. I mean, not too bad. He ruined so many. He's like the Ryan Murphy of literature. Yeah, Kenneth Anger destroyed people, and they weren't around to defend themselves. Good books, good picture books, but he was a jerk. I have no idea where Leslie Van Houten is. Hey, Angel from Wisconsin. I'm trying to get to everyone. I saw somebody asking me about the dearly departed hats. The hats are so expensive to get printed up, and then I have to. Then they cost a lot of money to send. It's so expensive. If you wanted to get something decent, I could get cheap ones made up, but they're awful. And I just it's sad. I don't want to put garbage out there. You can order if you go to my website dearlydepartedtours.com. There is an ordering page, and you can get to all the artifacts, the Sharon Tate rocks, the piece of the Hindenburg, the piece of Lucy's house, the piece of Betty White's house, the pieces of Jane Mansfield's car, the glass, and everything. All this stuff's for sale on the dearlydepartedtours.com website. Look on the shop area for artifacts. And they do have some t-shirts there too. T-shirts as well. Oh, yeah. You guys, I'm so bad. Okay. Oh, Del Coronado. One day I'll go there. Have I been to Camden? I have been to Camden. I know, you know Amy's family very well. You have a card from her Shiva. Interesting. You went to Amy. You have a card from her Shiva. Wow. Yeah, I used to go to a place called the Black Cap. We used to go see a drag queen there called Regina Fong. I like Camden. String Bean was on Hee Haw. That's right, he was. I don't know when the Pee Wee documentary is coming out. Should be soon. Doris Tate reached out to the Dunn family after Dominique's murder. Yes, indeed. Doris Tate started the whole, crime victims, families, justice for homicide victims and their families, getting proper counseling and legal help and stuff like that. So Doris Tate and got Dominique Dunn and the mother, Sunny, I think was her name, got them involved in that. Bill Kennedy's death. My gosh, no one knows who Bill Kennedy is, but you and me. Have I ever met any of the Manson family? No. Oh, hey, Paul. That's my old buddy from grade school. Paul, I'll tell you, we could talk privately, but there was one that somebody just asked me about one of the Detroit gangsters. And we went to school with one of the families and from the Detroit, the Purple Gang. And I don't want to bring that up. I can, what the hell? But Licavoli was their name. And we went to school with that family. So I'm sure they're part of that. Alan Abbott, the guy who did the Marilyn Monroe interview with me, he's dead. He's the one that was in the embalming room when Marilyn was embalmed, but he wasn't her embalmer, but he was her funeral director. And yeah, he died a few years ago. What is Zach Baggins like off camera? Zach's, he's okay. Doesn't have a very, very big sense of humor, but he's friendly enough. He asked me to be on a show a few times, and I'm happy to do that because it gets good exposure. But it's not like we're friends. So he seems all right, I guess. It's okay. Where would you rate Judy Garland as in the Hollywood actress in the top 5? I don't. I wouldn't. I couldn't because there's so many I don't know. Have I spoken to Deborah Tate? No. No. She's not first in line to talk to me. It is a tab cup, yes. It's yeah, there's no more tab, but I can put my ginger beer in my tab glass for old time's sake. From Quebec. Oh, hello, TK. Thank you very much. Thank you, Karen Tarr. Thank you, Diane Bishop. James Monroe, you asked about Deborah Tate, I'm assuming. And yeah, I've met her a few times. She's okay. She was okay when we were friendly, and then she became unfriendly. So we don't talk anymore. But she was nice while it lasted. Well, I spent a lot of money on her sister's underwear that she sold. There, I said it. True. The fires are out as far as I'm concerned. Peter Sutcliffe, some interesting stories aside of course, Peter Sutcliffe, the Cray twins, and the Wests, and Christie and Hindley, and I love all those stories. Terrible stories, but I do like them. Carbondale, hello, Andrea. Brutally Honest, hello, Henry. Great channel, thank you. Do I believe he was murdered? George Reeves, probably, but it would make sense. It would make more sense than him killing himself. Have I watched any of the Florence Henderson cooking shows? I watched a little bit when it came up in Roulette, the Celebrity Death Roulette. Her name came up, so I watched a little bit. You were born in Chicago Heights. See, you guys are really patient with me. I'm way back there. Scotland. Okay, that was you. Farrah Fawcett. Sad that Michael Jackson died the exact same day as Farrah Fawcett. It is true. She got ripped off. Fairmount. Hello. Hey, Mark, my buddy Mark. Nice to see you, man. I love your James Dean page. I do. James Dean Rebel. Great page. Celebrity Death Roulette. Developed into a series. I love doing Celebrity Death Roulette. Do I have a autopsy on Margot Hemingway? I could, yeah. Fredericksburg, hello. Something I just found out today is that I'm working on Red Fox story right now, some of the stuff about him. And I found out today, I don't know if you guys know who Rodney Bingenheimer is. Rodney Bingenheimer was a disc jockey, and he was responsible for getting airplay for people like David Bowie in America and T-Rex and Blondie and the Bogogos. I mean, they got national exposure through Rodney. And Rodney's an odd little guy, and they did a documentary about him called "The Mayor of the Sunset Strip," but he's still around. But Rodney had a disco on Sunset Boulevard called Rodney's Hollywood Disco, or Rodney's English Disco, Rodney's English Disco. And I just found out the Red Fox had a beauty salon right next door. Red Fox, for 3 years, had a beauty salon. F. Scott Hemingway. I heard that about James Dean's intersection. I haven't been there. This is a number year this year too. It's 70 years since he died. 80 years. Wait, 55, 70 years his death. So yeah, we were thinking about going, but I don't. It'll make me sad. Lenny, you're right, Linda. It was Lenny Dunn, not Sonny, but Lenny Dunn. What's my all-time favorite cartoon? Johnny Quest. Love Johnny Quest. Jeannie's Weenies. Of course I went to Jeannie's Weenies. Johnny Quest. Someone just wrote Johnny Quest. Yeah, cool. I like Sabrina and the Groovy Ghoulies too. We just watched all the Archies recently. I got the Archies DVDs, the first series. I can see that. Alan Abbott was a good guy. California fires burned any damage. No, the fires didn't damage any cemeteries, as far as I know. It came very close to Mountain View, that was involved with the Lamb Funeral Home thing, but no, it didn't really do any damage. So I'm glad about that. We're talking about doing a roulette video this weekend. Liz, Pick Fair? No, I've never been there before it was torn down. Heading to the Museum of Death in New Orleans should be interesting. It is good. I thought it was pretty good. I thought the best thing in it was the bowl, the dog bowl, O.J. Simpson's or Nicole Simpson's dog, Cato. They had the dog bowl from that. I thought that was pretty good. They had some interesting things in there too, but that was my favorite thing. Ginger beer, yummy. Ginger beer's good. I love ginger beer. I'm on my the last day of my dry January. I don't know if it's going to last, but I'm on my last day of dry January. On Ghost Bunny, Bridget said that you were on a Ghost Hunters. I knew about Ghost Adventures, but I didn't know you were on Ghost Hunters, and I couldn't find it. I don't think I was on Ghost Hunters. I don't think so. I wasn't Haunted Treasures or something like that. I don't remember. I don't think I was on there. Hey, TK, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. Do I ever go to the local casinos? No. You know what? Maybe to see concerts. We're going next week to see ABC. Tomorrow, Clint Black is playing, and it's only 10 minutes drive from here. So I might try to go to see that. I like Clint Black a lot. Oh, my sister's Laura. Hiya. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello. You guys in the lodge tonight? I'll bet. Any chance to see anything on Bill Bixby? It's possible. One thing I was going to be working on fairly soon, I hope to, is Brian Keith. But I like Bill Bixby a lot. You know, Jason, you're talking about Red Fox's house in in Vegas being haunted, I haven't been able to find any really good stories about it, and I'd like to know more. Drop me an email if you know it, because it's actually tonight, and maybe tomorrow morning I'll be working on that video. My address is I am Scott Michaels. Anyone can email me. I don't care. I'll answer. I am Scott Michaels at gmail.com. It's I am Scott Michaels at gmail.com. But if you know anything about the Fred Sanford Red Fox haunting, let me know. Hey, Bullets, if I could go back and change the outcome of 3 deaths, who would it be? That's a tough one. I think you asked me that one before. Any of them, really, I would try to. Any of them, I would try to help people out if I could. And that sounds so wanky, but no, it's true. I would. If I knew something was going to happen to somebody that was going to be terrible, I would definitely try to stop it. I can't think of who my favorites would be, but I would. I would. I know you like Dolly. Do you have an autograph picture? I do. I have about 5 autographs of hers, and which sounds again really tossy too. But I got some Dolly dollars signed, and I wrote her. And there was another one I got her autograph, and I mailed one. And yeah, so I got a few. I got a few from her. I have not been Ann Rule books. Don't know any good eBay grabs. What did I get recently? No, I'll have to look that up. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, Kevin Burns, thank you very much for the tip. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Any trips to NYC? No, I've only been one time, and it was only for about 3 days. But I do have footage that Jordan was kind enough to take of the Campbell Funeral Home, and I want to do something on that. I did visit the Campbell Funeral Home when I was there. Um, but yeah, I'd like to do something on that soon, because I just saw it again in what did we watch the other day? First Wives Club. Yeah, gay, 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 and but yeah, they do a funeral at the Campbell Funeral Home, so that kind of kicked me in the butt to do that again. Would I do a deep dive on Jack the Ripper? Probably not, because everyone else knows more, and there's nothing I can tell you that you could possibly learn from me. I don't. It sounds like I'm an educator. It's got to be interesting for me, I suppose. And then anything you can just tap and know everything about isn't as interesting to me. And plus, all the stuff's gone. I used to live right there, Brick Lane, where the murders happened. I lived just the other side of Bethnal Green Road. So all that stuff was in, a 5-minute walk for me. The bagel shop and all that business, and the 10 Bells pub. So yeah, I was sort of immersed in it, but I guess it's been so done over that I didn't really interest me. I mean, interested enough, you know what I mean? Not to follow up. I have seen Rodney zinging around in his GTO. He's got a blue GTO. Yeah. Will Ruth Ann Morehouse ever tell her story? Who? I don't know. I don't know. You like my Elvis Costello glasses? Thank you. You can have them too if you go to Walgreens. Have I met any of the OJ people? No, I haven't. I don't think. Dayton, Ohio. Hello. Clinton Blacks, I'm following like the rain. Mine is oh, I got it confused with a Ricky Skaggs song. Only no, see, I've got Ricky Skaggs going in my mind. I can't think of. I like Clint Black. There's a whole that Killing Time album. He's doing it from the beginning to the end. So I'm kind of excited about that. Who does my hair, Mr. Clean? I know the Christopher Reeve. I heard that the Christopher Reeve movie was good. Again, he was another one I just had no interest in, and that sounds like I don't care. I just know nothing at all entices me to watch that video. I didn't hate him. I just didn't. There was nothing he did that made me even interested a little bit in anything. No, didn't. No, maybe Somewhere in Time that was pretty good, but otherwise, didn't know. There's nothing about him that really ever struck me in any way. Been a fan for years. I donated the Paul Walker stick. Thank you, Faith. Thank you very much. I was just looking at pictures of that yesterday too. I really was honest. SWH. Oh, hello. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for supporting me. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Thanks, Pixie of Joy. Thank you very much. Hey, Angel. Virginia, hello. 230. Oh, hey, T with Tambo, number 213. Hey, Rick. Thoughts on Roseanne? I like Roseanne. I think she's funny as hell. And the people can't separate, funny from, I don't even get into it. I think she makes me laugh. She makes me laugh a lot. Have I ever done a blog on? Yes, I have. Joe, I have done the Karen Carpenter house. And I did a whole thing on Karen Carpenter, went to her drum shop and all that business. And I had some of Karen's things too. So if you go to my website, you'll see the Carpenter thing. Went to the funeral home and talked about the church where she was buried out of, went to her grave. So yeah, the lady that jumped off the Hollywood sign was Brian Keith's stepmother. That's right. Ireland, hello. Crimes and Mysteries. I've always wanted to go to Woodlawn. I want to go to Ferncliff too in New York. I've never been. Never been. Dan Tan is with Jimmy Woods. Todd, I'd love to. I really would. That would be so much fun. Anything at Barker Ranch? I don't know. I haven't been. I've been twice, and both times the ranch was still there, so I don't know what's left. It doesn't interest me, but I was glad to have been there when I did. That was. I don't see any reason to go there again. But if someone paid me, I'd go, and we were armed. Somebody asked me if I could meet Leslie Van Houten and do an interview. Would I do it? Sure. I mean, if somebody said, "Here's Leslie, do you want an hour with her?" Yeah, sure, I'd love to. But I don't want any kind of list of guidelines, and I doubt she'd want to talk to me about the stuff I want to talk about. So Roseanne liked one of my tweets once. That's right. I forget what I wrote about. I think it was when Leonard Nimoy died or something like that. I remember that was like a thing. They liked my tweet. It's like they know I exist. Gummo dude, you were talking about Eric Carmen. No, I haven't done any more. I put a post-it on my desk. I don't know what I'll ever do with that. But so I figured, one of the other things I was going to do while I'm here, and I'm hoping that this thing, I'm going to have to zip back once I lose, but because every time I take my arms, my hand, my eyes off of this, I'll have to skip back. But I thought I made a list of some of the people I met. And those are autopsy reports. Well, here, some of the people I've met, and I figured I would pick out a couple of names and tell you some stories. Let's see. So there, I mean, someone says, I've had people say, "Oh, you got to write a book. You got to write a book." And well, I have a lot. I got 1,000,000 chapters that are 2 sentences long. They're not that interesting. Not that interesting stories, but I'll look at a couple of them. So let's see. Carrie Fisher, Elvira, I did that one. Carrie Fisher is nice. I used to know her kind of because she was friends with my ex, Mackenzie Phillips. She told me about tripping on mushrooms with Christian Slater and Christian Brando. And he was flipping out, and she said she was like, she had glitter on her fingers, and she said, I don't know how she had glitter, and she said, we're in Pluto right now to Christian Brando. That made me laugh. Okay, Patti Smith. This is a story that came up the other day because Patti Smith had collapsed on stage. I guess she's fine. But Patti Smith and Fred Sonic Smith, they were doing a gig at the theater I was working at in Detroit in Grosse Pointe, just outside of Detroit, called the Punch and Judy, where they used to show the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And great bands. The Ramones played there, the Talking Heads, the Devo, Pat Benatar. Amazing shows that we got to see in this tiny little theater where it's about 500, 400 seats, and in this quiet neighborhood. And the Undertones, and I saw great bands there. The Jam. Anyway, so Patti Smith and Fred Sonic Smith were doing this concert, and everyone bought tickets, and it was a benefit for the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. So everyone's going to this show thinking they're going to see this Patti Smith concert, and they're going to hear all the greatest hits. And she did not have that on her agenda. She decided it was going to be performance art. So she was reading poetry. She was just riffing, just talking about nothing. And then she was showing I remember like films like she had. I don't know if it was it wasn't psychedelic because I would have enjoyed that. But I don't know, she had some kind of slideshow playing too, and it was just like really in Congress. People were just like, it got to the point she pulled out a clarinet, and she pulled out a clarinet and she started just blowing into it. And if you've ever played a woodwind instrument, if if you don't hit the reed the right way, it just squeals and it's the most awful sound. And she started doing that into the microphone, and people were screaming at her, yelling at her, booing her, and they were walking out. And I was an usher at this theater at the time, so I was in the lobby area, and people were in the lobby. That people were out front. They were shredding their T-shirts, their Patti Smith T-shirts, demanding refunds. And Patti Smith, after the show, and Fred Sonic Smith came out, and they came from the theater. I was in the lobby guarding the theater doors, and they went through the lobby, which is only, a small, like 30-foot circular diameter room, and went to the box office, and people were demanding refunds. I was like, no, it's a benefit for the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. We can't give your money back. And they were pissed. So Fred and Patty came out, and they were going back through this lobby, and people went for them. I mean, they were grabbing at him. It was like they were grabbing at Patti Smith's hair, and Fred was first, and Patty was second, and they were going to be grabbed, and I don't know what. I don't know if they would have been beaten up, but anyway, it was close. So I grabbed Patti Smith, and Fred was first, and I grabbed Patti Smith and I pushed her through the door, and they were really shaken. They were really shaken. And then they walked through the aisles to the theater, to the steps. And I was like 18, 17 or something like that. And as they're like catching their breath, and they were really traumatized, I go, "Can I have your autograph?" So I got my Patti Smith and my Fred Sonic Smith autographs from them, which were stolen from me, by the way. And it's same with my Ramones autographs, my Pat Benatar, my Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart, autographs. All the B-52s when I met them, all their autographs are all stolen from me. And Divine, my backstage passes, anyway. But yeah, that was my Patti Smith story. So, is it dangerous at Barker Ranch? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is there's bullet holes everywhere. So that to me registers as dangerous. And it's also 20 miles from any people, and off road, and an hour from any phone signal. So it's pretty isolated too. So if anything happens, you're up there. Did I know Robert Wagner grew up in Detroit? I knew he was from Detroit. I just found out Sonny Bono was from Detroit. Did you guys see the video I did on Sonny Bono's skis? That was good. That was really neat. I really liked that. I like the skis. I mean, terrible, but interesting. Carrie Fisher was nice. She was funny. She was very funny. I hear you say you were married to Mackenzie Phillips. No, no. Love to hear about the curse of Laurel Canyon. Actually, it's the curse of Benedict Canyon, and I'll do something on that at some point in time. Okay, Dr. Mad Studio, thank you for joining up. Where are you from? I live in northwest of the UK, not far from Liverpool. So you're a Scouser? Do you know the Queen of Scotty Road? Ta-ra to you. How old is Patty Smith? I don't know how old she is. She's in her 70s. I don't know if probably upper. The cavern. Cavern's long gone. I did go to Eleanor Rigby's grave before the internet. Before the internet. There was no internet yet. I did all that research way before the internet. Went to the cemetery where Paul McCartney and John Lennon met, and all their homes and everything. Yeah, that was cool. I don't own Sonny Bono skis. No, they are owned by people I know. Did Charles Manson have biological children? Yes, at least two, I think, but probably a lot more. One show Carrie did about her family was brilliant. Yeah, I've seen a couple of Carrie shows, Wishful Drinking and not Postcards from the Edge. But yeah, I did see a couple of her one woman shows. She's fascinating lady. and she never turned off. Never. It was always like a tornado being around her. Nicely. No, no, I'm not being nasty, but it was like a tornado. Have I ever met RuPaul? No, I saw RuPaul in concert in Chicago back in his little divey bar, and I have a flyer from that, and I keep hoping I'll meet RuPaul one day and have her autograph it for me. RuPaul makes me laugh. Oh, hey, Joe. My sister Joe's here. Hi. Hey, Joe. Patty 78, okay. Oh, you're sweet, Matthew. Thank you. What's my favorite artifact? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I will tell you though, I've been working on, because when I do private tours in LA, people, it's like a 6 or 8 hour day. I mean, it's a long day. I drive in 3 hours, I do the tour, and then I stay the night and I come back the next day. So it's involved. It's really involved. But I'll bring along some of my artifacts, and I've been putting them together so they look kind of nice. So because I had them like in a box and wrapped up in tissue paper, and I wanted to look a bit more presentable. So Troy's been working on that, the packaging of that. But I figured I'd bring a couple of things out and show you before I put them away. So this is a piece of the Hindenburg, the actual airship, the Hindenburg. And I got these from a person who was an ambulance driver. I got this in the 90s, or guys, 80s, early 80s, actually, from people. And it was a family that father was an ambulance driver and picked it up at the scene. And they found the piece that they had, cut it up in four, and I got one of them. This is something I bought from a person who actually owns the original Hollywood sign. And when it said Hollywood Land, and in the 40s, they took down the land part and left the word Hollywood. It was only made of plywood and sheet metal at that point. And eventually it was falling down in disrepair. And in 1978, they replaced it. This is a piece of the original H. And this is the letter that Peg Entwistle jumped off of. So this is actually the real piece of the letter H from the Hollywood sign. Which reminds me, I have to use this in the Brian Keith video when I do that. And this is documented. Like this guy took pictures of every inch of the old sign, so you can actually make out the pieces that are that particular piece by the chips taken out of it. And let's see, this is, speaking of Natalie Wood, this is Natalie Wood's Darvon prescription bottle. This was a gift to me from the late great E.J. Fleming. Rest in peace, E.J. And two more prescription bottles. One is to Milton Berle, and that is for take one tablet every 4 hours as needed for diarrhea, which I thought was perfect. And then this is a phenobarbital prescription for there. So these are some of the things I'll bring along. Oh, here's a tile. This is a tile from the swimming pool that Brian Jones drowned in. I got this from the fan club. The people that own the house gave these to the family or to the fan club, these pieces of the tile. They numbered them, and they were selling them to raise money for some kind of Brian Jones memorial. And that never happens. But that's a piece of the swimming pool that Brian drowned in. It was also, it's a A.A. Milne, I think, who wrote Winnie the Pooh. It was his house too. And I'll just a couple of more of these things. This is a hair piece, a weave from Elizabeth Taylor, her estate. These are pieces of the Mansfield car, upholstery, a piece of the fan belt, and some of the windshield glass. And that's a piece of the floor that Bobby Kennedy landed on from the Ambassador Hotel. And a spoon from the Ambassador. And these are May's dental appliances, Mae West's teeth. And these are celebrity toe tags that my friend Gabriel got me, and who embalmed people like Maury Amsterdam. I know, right? I mean, Gail Davis. What is this? Dorothy Lamour. Oh, Dorothy Lamour. It's on the back. Yeah, and there's Denver Piles in here. Bobby Troop. So yeah, these are some of the things I usually bring along with me on when I do my private tours. So if you were to book my tour, you would see some of these things in person. Indeed, indeed. Oh boy, am I back behind. I'm going to have to stop at some point, so I apologize for anyone I may have missed. I'm trying. Ozzy Osbourne's drawings. Believe the Kirsten Benedict Canyon had weird experiences there. Do more coverage, definitely. How come you were cut out of Dark Tourists? Because Manson died. I was supposed to be a big part of that show, and then Manson died, and during that week that we were shooting, so the whole shift happened, and I don't even think they used an interview with me. Did Carrie ever reveal that Debbie was a lesbian? No, because she wasn't. I don't know where that even came. Was that a kind of thing or thing? I mean, no, she wasn't. In fact, she did acknowledge it when Eddie Fisher's book came out. She was talking to me about that too, and she goes, "This is my mother that he's talking about, my mother." And she was just really contempt for Eddie Fisher for insinuating that Debbie was gay. Yeah, Eddie Fisher. I think that rumor was there even before Eddie Fisher, Nikki. I think that, people started that about Agnes Moorehead. And I think it was because she was friends with Agnes Moorehead. And Agnes Moorehead named her as the executor of her estate. And I think that may have bothered people or something. But yeah, Eddie Fisher certainly took that to a level. But yeah, Debbie wasn't. Yeah, Debbie liked the men. Your late granddad saw Marilyn in Korea. That's crazy. That's awesome. Ever find any evidence of the Jay Sebring had a hair salon? No. In fact, Troy and I found the location of where the Sebring salon was, and no, there was nothing. Nothing. I've never been able to find any pictures of Jay Sebring here in Palm Springs anyway, but no, nothing. I did watch the Lockerbie thing. That was really interesting. Yeah, Lockerbie. That was a terrible, terrible subject. Fascinating show. Is the Natalie Wood? No, none of the prescription bottles are full. You have my Pink Palace keychain, cool. Yeah, all that stuff is still available. The Dearly Departed tours, the keychains, the little tags that say Guest House from Cielo Drive, and the Pink Palace, and pieces of you can buy Jane Mansfield glass. Honestly, you guys, I mean, if you want to buy something, it would be really supporting us because the support is very much appreciated. Seriously, very much appreciated. You're obsessed with Freddie Mercury. What year was the Lisa Marie script prescription for? It was not that long ago. No, 2016, September 2016. So it was a while ago, but our home is not haunted. I have seen somebody here, but it's not really haunted. It was just somebody that popped around. Can I still name all the celebrities that passed away at Cedars, like on my tour? Okay, I'll try. Okay. Minnie Riperton, Sammy Kahn, Audrey Lindley, Gracie Allen, Lucille Ball, Fanny Bryce, River Phoenix. Oh my God, see, I can't do it. Audrey Lindley, Gracie Allen, Lucille Ball, Fanny Bryce, River Phoenix, Marion Davies, Audrey Meadows, Avery Schreiber, Groucho Marx, Gilda Radner, David O. Selznick, Ava Gabor, Van Heflin, Bobby Darin, Cornell Wild, Barry White, Jonathan Brandis, Easy E, Biggie Smalls, Charles Bronson, Peter Lawford, Danny Kaye, Andy Kaufman, Frank Sinatra, Martha Ray, Dominique Dunn, Dick Sargent, Isabel Sanford, Johnny Carson, Lou Rawls, Don Adams, Edward G. Robinson, Henry Fonda. I thought about it. I stopped because I thought about it. Rebecca Schaefer, Ann Miller, Ron Carey, Tom Poston, Merv Griffin, Robert Goulet, David Gross, Sid Charisse, Mr. Blackwell, Sherwood Schwartz, Elizabeth Taylor, Carrie Fisher. I know there's a lot more. Bruce Boxleitner, I think is his name. Brittany Murphy, I think she was pronounced there. If I visited Joshua Tree Inn, I have, yeah. I didn't go into that room, but I have. Okay. Oh, Joe, thank you very much. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Thank you. Debbie Reynolds. Yes, you're right. Debbie Reynolds was an awesome. And I'm through Jordan. I'm friends with Todd Fisher and his lovely wife Kat. And Todd and Kat have the most amazing collection. Debbie wanted the museum desperately in her life, and she got one, but she surrounded herself with shitty people that took advantage of her, and that museum closed down, and then they had to auction everything off. Not everything. Todd has an awesome collection left, and they've been very kind and generous enough to show it when we visit Vegas. So yeah, super nice people, and generous, really generous people. I have not been to Lubbock, no. Okay, Dr. Man. Actually, I wanted to go soon too. Agnes Moore had left Elizabeth Montgomery one of her favorite brooches. Didn't know that. Was anyone else supposed to be at Sharon Tate's house on the night of the murders? Look it up. Look up my video. Almost every story, I've documented it. Almost every one of them. Was Lisa Marie Presley on drugs? Probably. I did her autopsy report too. I did a whole video on that, so you'd be able to see if you watched that. I don't recall, but I think she did. I think she had drugs in her system. Just watch the Bluebird film. Oh my God, that's right. Tea with Tambo. That's right. She kept the son. Lisa Marie Presley kept her son in a cooler in the house for like 2 months. Crazy. And Matt, yeah, you're right, Matthew. Cat and Todd live Saturday afternoons at 5 p.m. California time. They do an hour long, and it's so good. Cat and Todd live are great. Sherwood was amazing. Sherwood Schwartz was great. I got to meet him a few times back when the Soloway sisters in Chicago did the Real Life Brady Bunch. And that was all. This was back in the 80s. They were taking real scripts from the Brady Bunch and acting them out. And the show I was there, Jane Lynch was Carol Brady, and Eve Plum came in to do Jan Brady, and Sherwood came in for it. And that was great. I got to meet him then. I met him in another time, and I corresponded with him briefly. What a nice man. Sherwood was great. And then his daughter, oh yeah, his daughter was in the Helter Skelter movie, the 1976 movie, because she had an autograph signing at our shop. And then her son, Elliot, was one of the people who worked on Hollywood Death Trip, that we did for that show that came up earlier in the conversation. So yeah, it was the Schwartzes were nice people, really, really nice people. Thanks, Nuts and Board. Thank you very much for your donation. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, Sherwood was great. It was absolutely great. Have I stayed at Todd and Kat's house? I have. Do you ship outside the U.S.? I can. There's a thing in the front of it on the top of the page. If you want to ship out of the country, email me. I'll deal with that with you. So just write me. I am scottmichaels@gmail.com. Find the page. Tell me what you want. Tell me your address. I'll tell you how much it is, and we'll deal with that. So I can ship. You just can't do it automatically through the website. What's my secret for being so cool? Can't tell you, but that's very nice of you to say. Liam Payne? No, I don't know who that is. I mean, I know the name, but I don't know really. I don't know any of the music, and yeah, so I don't. Sorry, no disrespect. Germany, hey Ingrid. Netherlands, my gosh, you guys must be just waking up. No, I did see what. Wait, Sally Struthers said about Betty White. Oh, sort of remember that. I mean, good for Sally Struthers coming out with stories about people. Yeah, the thing about these famous people is like, you just, we meet them for 5 seconds and they meet them for, a lot of time. So maybe Betty was having a bad day, but I do remember that Sally Struthers said something about it. Which did I like better, Brady Bunch or Partridge Family? Probably the Brady Bunch. It's like the Munsters and the Addams Family in a way. I grew up liking the Addams Family, but now I like the Munsters more. And the Brady Bunch. I used to like the Partridge Family, but I think the Brady Bunch, I liked it more. Oh, Bruce Boxleitner is not alive. Is still alive. Okay, the other one. I don't remember his name. The one that was in. Oh, geez, never mind then. You know what? I'm gonna have to go. I've been with you guys for over an hour. Over an hour. Which celebrity have you met that was not very nice, very rude, or you had a bad experience with? Well, let's look at the list. You see, a lot of these stories I was mentioning to you was just sort of they're 1 second stories. People that didn't impress me, weren't very friendly. I've always said that Billy Zane is a dick, and he is. I'll say that. I'll say that 100 times. Billy Zane is a dick. Just because he's rude to people. You try to be friendly, and you might mention, because when I meet people, I want to say something that maybe we have in common, you know, or just some kind of point of reference instead of just saying I really like you, I'm a big fan. And both of the times I had issues with him, the second time I just walked away. I was like, I couldn't deal with him. Sandra Gould. Again, not amazing stories. She was just eating with a mouthful of food and spitting at me, telling me I should have her on my tour. Crazy Ann Hash. Most of these people are really, really nice. And some of these are just stories, like I literally brush shoulders with them, like Madonna and Cilla Black and people like that. Jerry Halliwell was funny, but she wasn't a dick, but she set the table on fire that we were sitting at. She put her cigarette down or her lighter down, and the whole table caught on fire. And she walked away. She didn't even know. Jackie Stallone. Yeah, I don't have. Billy Zane is my go-to for the shitty people thing. Definitely. Sally said that Betty White fat shamed her. Well, different time, different day. That's not very nice. I've never visited Savannah. I'd love to. Thanks, Ireland. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Robert Ulrich, I'd like to do something about. I know I took pictures of his house. I know he's on findadeath.com. I've been to, yeah, I've been to, in fact, I have a bunch of stuff I sell pieces of Frank Zappa's house too. That's on the page too. Red Fox was rude in Vegas. That's too bad. A friend of mine is a cop here in Ogunquit, Maine. He busted Sally Struthers for a DUI. She was doing the play there. Thanks, Race Fan 73. Appreciate it. Thank you. Lots of DUIs in Hollywood. Dean Martin was nice to me. Dean Martin was really nice to me. Hey, Soft Temple Lounge. Hey, fantastic. Nice to see you. If you like 60s, 70s loungy jazz music, oh my god, like the best music, Soft Tempo Lounge, you got to go. I love your stuff. Love your stuff. I love the albums that you send, and it's if you get on Soft Tempo Lounge's Patreon page, you'll get amazing things. In fact, I have a Patreon page too. I never talk about this, but if you guys want to support me, it's like $2 a month that you can get into, or more, and you get stuff that I don't put out there. You get videos a little bit earlier, and you get I posting all kinds of stuff, weird stuff in there too, and it would help me out a great deal too. So Patreon, there's a link below in my videos. If you were to sponsor me, I'd sure appreciate it. The Charo show, you know what, Karen Beer, we were supposed to go to the Charo show and we didn't have tickets. How embarrassing is that? We didn't have tickets. I ended up just saying I got tickets and we didn't. So yeah, there's another one of those things. When Barry Williams came to our bookstore to sign his book, we were not impressed. I have not been impressed by him before. I have. I've met him and I've talked to him and I wasn't that dazzled by him. But back in the day, I sent him a fan letter back in the 80s or so when he wrote me back, so I can't complain. But it was at an autograph show and I was not impressed with him. I've heard Henry Winkler is a great guy. I've heard that. Harvey Korman, love to have met him. Jennifer Aniston's dad. Oh, really? Oh, I like Jennifer Aniston's. I forget what his name was now. It's Aniston, but uh, um, I liked him. Tony Curtis. I'm working on a video about him too. He's in the same cemetery as Red Fox. I'm just looking for something interesting about Tony Curtis. I did meet him. He did kiss the top of my head, and I have that on video. That was cool. And I talked to him about Marilyn and Sharon Tate, but he had nothing nice to say. I mean, he didn't have anything shitty to say. He just, what are you going to say? I have his attention for 1 minute, and I had an obligation to say those two names to him out loud. And hey, Ricardo, if you join the Patreon page, I did a whole thing on my tattoos. And so just so you know, I've never met Jennifer Aniston. Courtney Cox ran away from me on a tour once. And Lisa Kudrow gave me the finger once in front of Courtney Cox's house. I have met Liza Minnelli. Hey, Kat. I met Morrissey from the Smiths. Yeah, Morrissey's a dick. I've never heard anyone say anything nice about Morrissey as a human being. As a performer, amazing, fantastic. But yeah, I've heard so many bad things about Morrissey. He's just yeah, I've heard that many, many, many times. John Aniston, okay. Well, Tea with Tambo, drop me an email. I am scottmichaels@gmail.com. Now, Phyllis Diller was really nice to me. There's that thing where I asked if I could put my arm around her, but she was really nice to me. And I dropped a couple $100 at her house, probably like 500 actually, on a paint thing. And she sat down with me and talked for a little while. And she was nice. She was nice, but it was her staff that were kind of interesting. South Carolina. Yeah, Jesse. I want to know more about that. Bob Denver was an ancestor to me. Lisa. You have any Clint Eastwood stories? No. You had a Courtney Cox. That's so funny. We used to pass her house on the tour, and her garage door would be open, and it was funny because David Arquette, she was together, and his side of the garage was all kinds of shit everywhere, just junk, pinball machines, and stacked with old games and stuff like that. And her side was literally like all neat, like stacked waters and stuff like that. That was kind of funny. And what was it? Halle Berry's garage was interesting too. I forgot there were some games in there, but I don't remember what they were. I took pictures. I have pictures somewhere of the inside. Alicia, thank you very much for the donation. Thank you very much. Steve Gary was a very interesting man. What you see on that video is what you get. He had great stories. Great stories. Henry, he lived on Van Ness between Melrose and Santa Monica. Well, yeah, I was like, 718 from Van Ness. I was like 2 buildings off Melrose, right on Van Ness. That's interesting. Courtney Love, no. Not any more than you know. Do I do birthday parties? If the price is right, I'll do anything. Angie Dickinson. Oh, I met her a couple of times. She's so nice. I liked Angie Dickinson, and she did tell me that Dean Martin was acting drunk. I still don't believe it. She said the whole thing was an act. I don't believe it. Do I think that Lana Turner's daughter? Yeah. You know what? I'm going to save that story for another time because I might have to go because I can hear Troy in the other room and he's sort of like waiting. So I'm going to go in a second. Joe DiMaggio wasn't abusive behind the scenes. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that Joe wasn't a good guy, wasn't a very friendly guy, an amazing athlete, but not a nice guy. Couldn't deal with being Mr. Maryland. Okay. All right, I'm going to go. You guys are really, really kind. Thank you for you guys who have donated tonight to the cause. I appreciate it. If you go into, if you wanted to join the Patreon page down in the description below this video, it's only a couple bucks a month, and there's stuff I post in there that I don't post in public or publicly, and updates about stuff that's going on around town. So yeah, and there's yeah. So thank you guys. Marcy, thank you. You're very kind. I'll do something on the Benedict Canyon curse. I promise. I have talked about that on the Patreon page too, a bit about it. So anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you everyone for joining up, for saying hello. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as they say. And I appreciate it. It was really nice to spend some time with you guys. Thanks for joining in. I love that you guys are here. That makes me happy. Makes me happy. And happy Friday night. Happy weekend. And I'll be seeing you around like a record.